JT is not here. Pastor Johnson.
No, that's how we turned. That's how we turned out.
Yes, and
He's willing to do it?
He's willing to do it.
I'm going to take you to the
How you doing?
tomorrow, see if we can get our smiling faces in there and living color.
Looks nice, yeah.
It turned out.
Yeah, I like that.
Doing great. Great. Thanks for filling in.
That's the
Oh, Richard.
Oh, okay.
engineer works. Designs different.
Been a reversal, huh?
I got it off my email.
Appreciate you coming out.
Just real quick, I think this year's lot wants to find a slogan. Home of NASCAR. And I made a little
Seminole
thing
Theater,
about
too.
something for you.
Richard Weiss is our boy,
And
very,
if you want to,
Homestead is home.
you know how that goes.
home of, you can list all that, home of, bike trail, home of, everything, home of.
Oh, that's the guy from the, that's good. This guy doesn't do any business with the city, so I'm safe. This guy from Texas.
Well, all you'd have to do is just list it, so no big deal.
Right. I've only had to do that one time so far. I got a big basket.
December 17th, 8 a.m. Too early in the morning. Yeah. It's too early in the morning.
You're supposed to pray every night. Just not publicly.
Oh, God, just let me get through this meeting.
This is a special call notice that I...
Let's get started. Let's get started.
You okay?
What's this?
Turning to the manger, this is our church's production.
Today's 12:06.
Sure. What time you want to meet? I'll be at 8:15.
This is our church's production at Heritage.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Great, thank you.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to take this down to the newspaper.
That camera real nice. Real nice, yeah.
We don't have an expense.
Let's call the meeting to order.
That's fine.
Meeting of the City Council, City Homestead, Monday, the 6th of December, 2004. This evening, we'll have the invocation by Pastor Travis Johnson for the Homestead Church of God, followed by the Police Explorers, the Pledge of Allegiance. Is the Police Explorers here? If not, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Vice Mayor Bell. Would you all please stand?
Let's all bow our heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege that we have to meet freely and discuss business of the city. Father, we thank you for leadership that you've ordained. God, I thank you for every person that's interested in the city. Father, interested in the way that they live in their communities. Father, we thank you for the privilege that we have to worship you freely, Father, in our churches and in this community. Father, I pray that you bless our business here today, that wisdom be applied to decisions that are to be made. God, I pray that you touch the lives of our leaders. You'd bless them and prosper them. Father, we thank you for a community that's growing and prosperous and beautiful for our children, for our families. God, I pray that you would continue to keep your hand of favor and blessing on us, Lord, and bless the rest of our time here today, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me as we pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mrs. Bell? Here. Ms. Garner?
Here.
Mr. Hodge?
Here.
Mr. Losner?
Here.
Mr. Porter?
Here.
Mrs. Waldman?
Here.
Mayor Warren?
Here. Additions, deletions, deferrals?
None, Mayor.
None. Special presentations. Presentation, certificate of appreciation to the Florida City Razorbacks football team. Vice Mayor Bell.
Here, you want mine? Oh, I thought you were glasses.
I had to borrow somebody's
Do I have the coach here from the Florida City Razorbacks? Please come up. I'm going to go ahead and read off their names. I realize that they're not here, and I'm going to hand them all to you. Once again, the Florida City Razorbacks are on their way to the Nationals in Orlando, Florida. All of these boys, all of about 115 pounds, Pee-wees, are champions once again in their division. They won the Pop Warner sectionals and the regionals, and they're on their way. So if any of you have any questions about why are we recognizing the Florida City Razorbacks, I would just like to let you know that about 50% of these kids live in Homestead. And even if they didn't, so what? It's for the kids. So I'd like to recognize them now. And I would also like to recognize right now Robert Collins, the assistant coach. And I'm going to go ahead and call out these kids' names just to let you know. And I'm going to give you all the certificates, and you can bring them back to them. So they couldn't be with us tonight, huh?
So they couldn't get another ride.
We have Coach Anton Hall. Anthony Braggs is the assistant coach. Todd Spate is the assistant coach. Corey McDowell. Milton Clark. Roger Hall. Terry Edwards. Georgia Williams. Well, you have as many coaches as you have kids, don't you? That was just the coaches. Just in case these kids watch it, I like for them to hear their names. We have Travis Lovejoy, Henry Smith, Brian Moore, Demetrius Jackson Roundtree, Dimitri Taylor, Derek Kinchin, Wesley Brady, Tavares Dancer, Jarvon Anderson, Alex Brady, Takoy Sumler, Emmanuel Miser, Herbert Waters, Roshan Lee, Michael Goodman, William Miller Jr., Jaqueen Bryant, Therine Cochran, Jarrell Harps, Jacob Wadley, Henry Haynes, Kadarius Green, Frederick Swain, Deontay Thomas, Trisha Elze. I think I butchered these names too badly this time. You'll let me know later, right? We have Marquis Davis, Eugene Scott, Tadarius DeBurry, Armand Love Witherspoon, Ricky Williams, a good Ricky Williams. Yes, I do hold it against him. Danielle Santil, Octavius Jackson. And those are our Florida City Razorbacks. And let's give them a hand. Okay. They wanted me to let you know that they're short $500 and they're leaving tomorrow. So if anybody wants to dig into their pockets tonight, let us know. Let him know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Next is the presentation of a plaque to Home Depot, Councilwoman Wallman.
Yes, thank you. Several months ago, when the city began hurricane preparedness and relief efforts, we needed to obtain a freezer for use by the police department. The city had no additional freezers to use, and rentals were simply not an option. Our Parks and Recs department, namely Evelyn DeVito, in an effort to assist, contacted Home Depot to ask if they possibly had a floor model or one that was partially damaged that they could loan to the city. Home Depot's response was that we have nothing like that to loan you, but we can give you a brand new one. Without hesitation and in an effort to come to the aid of our police department, Home Depot donated a new freezer, which was essential in allowing our officers to spend the many hours in safeguarding and helping the citizens of Florida. Tonight, we wish to express our sincerest thanks and appreciation to Home Depot, and accepting the plaque for this wonderful store is Carlos Uri, who's with the Human Relations Department, correct? Human Resource Department. It's with great honor that I present to you this plaque, and it reads, "In appreciation to Home Depot for your generous contributions and assistance to the victims of Hurricane Charlie, Francis, Ivan, and Jean, December 6, 2004, Mayor and Council, City of Homestead."
Thank you very much. Just quickly, we'd like to say thank you to everybody involved in this, and we're proud to be part of the members of this great community, which I live in also. So thank you very much, and this will be displayed in our entrance for all of you to come shop our store.
I was just saying to him, we were there today, my mother needed a new sink, and we were there buying our new sink. So again, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wallman. Consent agenda, is a motion for approval?
So moved, Mayor.
Moved by Vice Mayor Bell, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hodge. Any comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing ordinance, land use items, Mr. Attorney.
Please be advised that the following items on the agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment upon any of these items, please indicate the item number you would like to address when the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for person to speak on each item will be made after the applicant and staff have made their presentations on each item. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to either be cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk. In accordance with Code Section 2-591, any lobbyist must register before addressing the council on any of the following items. At this time, council members must disclose any ex parte communications concerning any of the agenda items. At this time, the clerk will swear in any persons who wish to testify in any quasi-judicial item.
Stand and raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. You may be seated.
Mr. Mayor, the first item is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting preliminary plat and site plan approval for Pod B, Carroll's Place, 252 multifamily units on approximately 14.48 acres of land in the Oasis Planned Unit Development located south of the C-103 Canal, from approximately southwest 142nd Avenue to the Homestead extension of the Florida Turnpike, as legally described in Exhibit A, and providing for an effective date.
Any initial comments from council?
Just one, Mayor. I know we've discussed this PUD before, the Oasis PUD. I just wanted to point out once again that the whole PUD is 122 units less than it was approved for, so I like that.
Any other comments? This is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? I'll open the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments?
I do have a question.
Vice Mayor Bell?
Thank you. Charles, I would like you to explain how, because we've discussed this and there seems to be a little bit of confusion on this. Overall, when you look at this, first of all, you look at number one, when you do your math, it averages out to be about 17 units to the acre.
That's correct.
And then when you do the second Pod E, it works out to be 4.14 units to the acre. So these are averaged, they're actually added together and then averaged in overall, because this is future use is low residential. So I want you to explain how this equates to low residential.
The overall land use is low-density residential. In any area of our city, you can rezone to PUD. This is a plan unit development that was rezoned in the master plan for residential growth. It has to be the same as, predominantly the same as the underlying land use, which is low-density residential. So they cannot create more than 6 units to the acre over the entire area, which are not. You have some pods like the one that will come behind this one that's at 4. You have some at lower densities. You also have lakes. You have a 7-acre school site in this PUD, and you have tot lots and things like that. So when you average out the entire property parcel and the number of units total, it's less than 6 units to the acre. While you'll have some pods at higher density, you'll have some at lower density, much the same way the Villages of Homestead DRI was developed under the same principle. You have some sectors like the townhouses or condos that are higher in density, and then you'll have some areas with like East Lake or others that have lower density to them. And then it's, overall, it should equal 6 units or less per acre. And that's what this does.
Thank you. And have all the questions been answered? Because I know there was some open-ended.
Yeah, and if you'll, the site plan that you have should be the newer one that shows the crosswalks, the dumpsters, and changes the parking and the trees and all of that. And this one, we got a tot lot in this one as well, and a little bit more green space than we've seen in others. So I think it's quite nice.
Thank you.
Wasn't there a rec center in this one?
Yes, there is. There's a tot lot rec center on a pretty good, pretty good stretch of land, and there's some more open space around the lakes and on the ends of buildings that we haven't seen in the past. It gives it more of an open feel. Plus, it also backs up to the C-103 canal to the north side of it, so you'll have that kind of a open area out there as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any comments from the audience? Any comments? If not, I'm going to officially close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Anything, Mr. Williams?
Tim Williams Agricultural Enterprises Limited. I think Charles and Pratt, your city staff summed it up pretty well. A few items you may be interested in. The sales price for these units starting at $150,000 and going up to $170,000. And the square footage, the minimum square footage is 1,154 square feet, going up to 1,320. So I think Charles summed it up. It's a great project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
We never had a motion.
Moved by Mr. Porter, the second. Second by the Vice Mayor. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hodge?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mrs. Waldman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Garner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Our next item is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting preliminary plat and site plan approval for Pod E, Carmen's Place, 88 single-family units on approximately 21.4 acres of land in the Oasis Planned Unit Development, located south of the C-103 Canal from approximately southwest 142nd Avenue to the Homestead extension of the Florida Turnpike is legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
Is there a motion for approval?
So moved, Mayor.
Moved by Councilwoman Waldman, second by Councilman Porter. Any initial comments from council? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? I would just like to say this is probably one of the best projects I've seen. And all of the ones that we have approved and are rejected, this is probably one of the best. I think it's a first-class development for Homestead. Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mrs. Waldman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Hodge?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Next, we have a final order of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting a certificate of use to allow a packaged liquor store within Waterstone Plaza, located on the southwest corner of Southwest 288th Street, Biscayne Drive, and Southwest 137th Avenue, Tallahassee Road, as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
Is there a motion for approval?
I'll move it, Mayor.
Moved by Councilman Porter. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Garner. Any initial comments from council?
Just one question.
Mr. Porter?
This is just like what we see in the public shopping center where you have a package store in and along the strip mall.
That is correct. It's like what you would see next to Sedano's. There's a liquor store there. There's one next to Publix. Same scenario, package store next to a shopping center.
And obviously, one of the questions in the planning and zoning was drinking on premises. Obviously, that's not going to be an issue. It's not.
That is not legal.
It is not legal, and it's all been addressed, correct?
Yes, and of course, all shopping centers are responsible for their own security, but of course, our police department's always available to take care of any problems. We hope that there will not be any, and the owner has assured us that he will do his best to ensure that there is not the consumption on the premises. As you know, all of these locations have to be posted at state law that there's no consumption on the premises. We're in front of it. People are supposed to buy their beer, or wine, or liquor and take it home and do what they will. But no consumption on premises.
Right. Historically, in the malls, like in the strip centers, like you see the public strip center, that has not been an issue.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. This is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? Any comments? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mrs. Waldman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bell?
No.
Ms. Garner?
Yes.
Mr. Hodge?
No.
Mr. Losner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes. We on legislative matters, Mr. Attorney?
Is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving the purchase of a loan from First National Bank of South Florida and taking an assignment of loan documents, approving that certain assignment of mortgage, promissory notes, and other collateral documents without recourse by First National Bank of South Florida, including the city manager, authorizing the city manager to execute and deliver the assignment, authorizing the city manager and attorney to take all necessary action to effectuate the purchase of the loan and the taking of an assignment of the loan documents, providing for an effective date.
I'll move it, Mayor.
I'll second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll second it, but I would like to ask a question.
Been properly moved by Vice Mayor Bell, second by Councilwoman Waldman. Ms. Waldman?
Actually, it's probably more of a statement than a question. For those of you that don't know, I own a mortgage company. It's called, anyway, it's a mortgage company, and we buy mortgages all over the United States. So I'm very familiar with this process. And I can tell you that I want to personally thank First National Bank for allowing us to purchase this, because what are we getting, 3.5% on our money now? And, this is written at 9%. So this is an excellent move for the city, and that way we have a stake in the property now. We don't have to go through hoops and dances to do something if it should go into foreclosure. So I just think it's an excellent move, and kudos to all of you that put it together.
Thank you, Ms. Waldman. Vice Mayor Bell?
I'd like to echo Councilwoman Waldman's comments. This is a no-brainer. And I also am very thankful that the bank offered it to us first, because this would have been snatched up, and it gives us a much better bargaining position now that we will be in better position to have both the land and the building as well. So absolutely in favor of this, as well as a good income generator, which always puts a smile on my face.
Let me ask a question with staff. In the memo from Dan, the purchase of the loan were in the general fund account. This is coming from your budget, Rick, right? It's coming
No,
from the
sir.
general fund? But that'll be a loan to CRA? How that's going to
The
work?
city's purchasing, the city, not CRA, is purchasing
Oh, okay.
that mortgage.
Can I have a question, Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Hodge?
Yeah, then, just to clarify, so basically, the CRA would have the lease and the building, and the city would have the
Now, actually, the city will have the full property there. That's not going to be owned by the CRA.
so what CRA is going to...
Actually, Rick kind of
release
got
the-
involved in it.
That part to, the part that the CRA
That's
owns
CRA
is going to be released to the city.
CRA doesn't own it.
The CRA has never owned the land. It was always the city's land.
is-
We were just the operating part of the city that was handling it.
Okay, okay.
The facilitator, right?
Oh, okay.
The facilitator, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Okay, that's all I had, man. I
Well,
just
thank
wanted
you. Any other discussion?
to wake that up.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Second item is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, providing for ratification of the collective bargaining agreement between the Dade County Police Benevolent Association and the city regarding the police lieutenants, authorizing the city manager to sign the collective bargaining agreement on behalf of the city and providing for an effective date.
I'll move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Bell, second by Councilwoman Garner. I'd just like to extend my appreciation, Mr. Manager, to you and our negotiation team, and certainly to the PBA and the lieutenants for working together for the betterment of this community and coming to this decision. I think it was good for both parties. So thank you all for your hard work and making this happen. Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
C is the resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, authorizing the waiving of competitive bidding requirements and to process an emergency purchase order for repairs to pump station number 22 to Downright Engineering and Development Corporation pursuant to City Code Section 2413A1, emergency purchases, providing for an effective date.
Move adoption, Mayor.
Moved by Councilman Porter. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Wallman.
That's a good question.
Question, Mr. Porter?
If the competitive process, if you went through the competitive process, how long would it take to competitively bid this?
It would, we'd either go through the bids, we certainly wouldn't go through an RFP, but to go to the bids, we'd have to get 3 bids and then pick from that. At the time, there was maintenance going on with the pump, and it dropped and damaged the inside, so it was the vendor who was there was already on site, could immediately jump in, so that was one of the considerations. Brian, if you'd like to add to that.
Mr. Porter, it would be about a minimum of 3 months.
So I guess what I'm getting at is you're asking for this to be expedited because 3 months to do the process.
It's already been done.
It's okay.
It's already been done, yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It's a situation where you couldn't do without the pump being active or in order. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Business from the city manager?
I'll have none tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Report, Mayor and Council. Councilman Hodge?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have two items that we see in the agenda. The first item is to request permission for road closure for the Dr. Martin Luther King Parade on January 15, 2005. Marlene, do you have any comments on that?
We've been working with Mr. Willie Brown to effectuate a very successful Martin Luther King Parade on Saturday, January 15th. I know the police department has been working on the route, etc. They'll be forming in front of the Landmark Hotel and then proceeding down Flagler, Chrome, 4th Street over to the park in Florida City.
Is there a motion for approval? Moved by
Second.
Councilman Porter, second by Councilwoman Garner. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And number 2 is a proposal to place a motion to reconsider the November 15 resolution transmitting comprehensive plan amendments to the state for review. Public hearing 2004-20, 2004-21, 2004-22, and the city-initiated updated comprehensive plan on the agenda of the December 20th City Council meeting. And just real briefly, I'd like to basically state we have gotten, basically this is a resolution for the change of the comprehensive plan, and this is a request where I request to include the text amendment for the Southwest Master Plan. And for basically for public information also, the text is not putting in the concrete and stone zoning. I've heard there was comments about the zoning that we were trying to get approved on others' property. Basically, what this is, this will allow the master plan, and it's basically the best way to explain it would be when someone comes to us and we do a PUD, within that PUD we're allowed to zone the commercial and residential within that PUD without having to resend it back to the state. Basically, this is going to be what we call a PUN, a planned urban neighborhood, which allow us to do the zoning within that planned urban neighborhood, whether it's going to be residential or commercial or downtown mixed use. And once this is transmitted to the state of Florida, then we don't have to go back to the state of Florida to make those changes. We can make it right here on this dais. So actually, this is a very important piece to go up to be able to implement the Southwest Master Plan and to move forward with that. And this is the request to consider a motion to make that amendment to get the text to the state of Florida so that we can move forward when the master plan comes forward to us.
I'll offer a motion.
Is that a motion offered by Councilwoman Garner? Is that second, Mr.? Second by Councilman Porter. Questions?
Question.
Mr. Losner?
What's the delay factor here? I know, aren't there only certain times of year that you can file these packages, and are we putting at a disadvantage what we've already, the extensive package we already submitted?
I don't, Mr. Losner, members of council, I don't believe we'll see a significant delay. I mean, we're looking at a couple of weeks here, and with the holidays, I doubt DCA would have reviewed it before the first of the year anyway. You know, by the time we submit this, we'll be about 3 weeks after what we'd originally submitted, and during these holidays and DCA is short-staffed, I don't know that we would get that quick of an overview. I mean, they're obligated to give us an overview in 5 days just to give us a completeness, but other than that, their full review, I don't think you'll see a difference.
But I guess my question is ultimately if the motion to reconsider is passed, we're going to withdraw what we filed in order to amend it to tack on the textual amendment to the Southwest Master Plan. There's no other way to accomplish that by just transmitting an amendment after the fact. We have to withdraw what's already been submitted? If
we want to get it in before the first of the year, yes. If not, we would have to wait for the transmittal after the first of the year. But we're allowed 2 transmittals a year on text changes and large-scale amendments. This will be our second one for this year. We had a text change in the spring. This will be our second one for the year. We can fit this one in. If not, we would have to wait till after the first of the year and do it separately.
And the text change then is what's on our special call agenda for
Yeah,
Thursday
this actually has a map changes with it as well to designate the Southwest area as a plan unit neighborhood and give that designation to go along with the text change.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Losner. Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Good. Anything else, Mr. Hodge?
That's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Losner?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, first I'd like to thank and compliment everyone and every entity who was involved in putting together the tree lighting celebration at Losner Park last Friday night. That was probably the best one that we've had. You know, the decorations on the band shell, the bleachers that were brought in on beg, borrow, or steal from the county, however we got them. It was great to have them. The whole event was wonderful. Mother Nature cooperated. There was a little coolness in the air, and you know, as I said that night, that's one of those many positive things that sets us apart from the rest of South Florida as a separate, distinct, and unique community. Not just a place to sleep at night, but a real community. And my hat's off to everyone who was involved in that. Also, as to the relocation of City Hall, I want to announce that we have received the updated survey on this site. We are awaiting the appraisal, probably another 10 days to 2 weeks, Mr. Manager, at least.
Hopefully, we might be by the end of this week or beginning of next week, with a little luck. We did have just one thing on the, in reviewing that survey, they mislabeled the Amico property as not being owned by us, so we've got to go back and fix that. But otherwise, we're hoping by no later in the middle of next week, hopefully.
Very good. And as for the acquisition of the new site, the offer has gone out. Certainly, we wouldn't expect within this short time frame to have a response to an unsolicited offer, but I'm hopeful that by December 20th, when we next meet at a regular council meeting, we will have a response. I don't know to venture what kind of response, but I'm hopeful that the manager and I can come back and at least report there's been a response, and we'll have a better idea of where we're going from there. And in the interest of having probably the shortest council meeting I've seen in the last 3 years, that will conclude my business, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Longman. And I would ask you to do two things. One is at probably the next council meeting, the COW give us an update on the Park of Commerce. And you mentioned the laws in the park. We need to take a look at doing something to the band show. Just really need some more, if we could get our grant writers involved and see if there's any funds out there to put some money in that thing and do something with it. It was beautifully decorated, but I just think we need to, it's deteriorating there in some areas in that building, and it's going to be our showcase downtown. I think some good work have taken place there, but we need to put some resources there to make it look even better.
Thank you. I know you had those concerns Friday night, and I shared them with Mr. Stotts today. And if you haven't had the chance to speak with him on some events that are very timely with your concerns, I would encourage the two of you to get together and look at some issues.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Larson. Mr. Porter.
I guess along that same line, could you take a look at the benches that are along the tree line there? It looks like some of them are sunk in or falling apart or something. I don't know. I just noticed it today. But I guess the main issue that I hate to keep beating up on the same issue over and over again, but today there were 2 accidents at the intersection that we've been talking to the county about, a stop sign or a 4-way stop. And to my knowledge, no one was killed, so I don't know if they've looked at it yet or not, but it's getting to be a little bit embarrassing to have to stand up here in front of the constituents and continuously tell them that the consideration from the county is still no. I spoke to the chief today. I got a call from Mr. Taylor, who is not here at the moment, and said, I'm standing here and there's cars everywhere. So the chief has the reports on the accidents. There was another accident down the street over the weekend that was a rollover, considerably more damaging. But this is a residential neighborhood. This is not 8th Street or Campbell Drive or anything. This is a residential neighborhood. So again, Mr. Manager, I will lean on you and the chief and ask for the harshest possible, whatever we have that we can do, in and including getting our own traffic consultants to go over there and do an analysis of that and send forward something to the county that will let them please do a complete 180 on this intersection. There's been some very damaging statements made by the county in that neighborhood that shouldn't have been made by someone from the county. I know the mayor had mentioned something about speaking to Commissioner Moss about this. Maybe that's where we are now. I don't know. But the vice mayor has had issues that have been turned down. That same issue is turned down by myself and other council members before. And we shouldn't have to kill someone. That's just the bottom line. We shouldn't have to kill someone down here to get a stop sign. How much does a stop sign cost? $20?
Yeah. It would be very inexpensive to put up, actually. And we have, they have requested our list of accidents at that location. We've sent those accidents to them. Julio's been talking with them. We're going to send these next two up and see if this is enough to push them into taking action. And we can also go the other route with
What happens if we put one up, Richard?
Pardon?
Can we erect a stop sign there for the safety of the people of City of Homestead? And if we have to go to court with the county, and if that's ultimate, what we have to do?
You could put it, the county home rule charter preempts that authority. You have no authority to put one up. If you put one up and someone gets hurt there,
there we go.
Then we start to take on responsibility for it. But it's really a county responsibility.
I had an opportunity Jeff, to talk briefly with the mayor when he was here, the new mayor of Dade County. And we probably need to draft a letter to Commissioner Morris and CC the mayor on that letter, and follow up with probably scheduling a meeting with him to see whether we can get some movement from the county level. But he was very interested and concerned as to why the county have rejected us so many times, because typically when a community insists that they need one, that they pretty much cooperate. So let's get a letter to Commissioner Morris, and the manager and I will follow up with a meeting with Morris and the mayor if necessary, and see what happens.
Well, Mayor, let me just say that a while back on 6th Avenue in Maury, in the southwest area, we had been requesting some consideration at that intersection, and had been told by the county that we didn't need it. It didn't justify it. There was an accident that killed 6 people at that intersection, and they went from no stop sign to a red light. So the issue is, it's as simple as that issue, that we shouldn't have to have someone be desperately hurt in order to justify this. I just can't see it. And Mayor, I appreciate anything you can do with the commissioner, Mr. Manager, anything that you can do. There's a gentleman back here that the cars end up in his yard on a regular basis. So it's important. It's very important. So we shouldn't have to go another meeting and have someone from the crowd have to come up and say, hey, they had another accident at that same intersection. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. We'll follow up on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Wallman?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I think it was last Monday night we had our workshop for to unveil our Parks and Recs master plan, and that went very well. It's going to be brought to the Committee of the Whole next week, and hopefully it'll be we'll have a much shorter power presentation for the audience, but I think it's beautiful, and I'm very, very proud of it. I also wanted to announce, Mayor, that our Washington lobbyist gave us good news this week that we have a $125,000 grant for the, actually it's, I'm not sure it's a grant or not. Was it a grant, Marlene? It's
from the Omnibus Appropriations Bill.
Okay. It's $125,000 earmarked for the Senior Citizen Center. And many people, including my mother, and Mother, I know you'll be watching this. She called me yesterday, when are you going to start fixing up that senior center? You know, she was really upset with me. So she wanted to know when we were going to start and how much money we had. So I'm going to tell you. We have, with the $125,000, we have $850,000 now that we'll be putting into the Senior Citizen Center, and we're hoping, we have a grant pending of an additional $350,000, which would bring us up to $1.2 million. So we can do great things with $1.2 million. So seniors, I promise you, we're going to start on it very soon, very, very soon. And I'm very happy to announce that, Mayor, that's all money that's come from somewhere else. I also wanted to say that I agree with the tree lighting. Friday night. It was a great experience. I ended up staying there till about 9 o'clock. The musical talent was terrific, and the 5 guys singing gospel, they rocked the house. So, I mean, that was just wonderful. And haven't had an opportunity yet to meet the new director for Main Street, but I think that would be nice, Steve, if we could bring her to a council meeting and introduce her publicly. I think that's very important. She did a really good job, and I know you did too. You worked hand in hand with her. We had our own tree lighting last Monday night. I thought it was beautiful, and I want to publicly thank the Rainbow Christian singers for coming, as they do for me every year. Very, very much appreciated it. Breakfast with Santa, let me just give you a little information on this. It's December 18th at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Harrisfield Barn Pavilion. The event is for children 10 and under, and it's $5 per child. This includes a pancake and sausage breakfast, face painting. They make and take home a ceramic ornament. They're going to have a snow play area. Pictures with Santa, and the parents are welcome, and they can come too and enjoy breakfast for $3 each. So pre-registration is required. Space is limited to the first 200 children and 2 adults per family. So to register, come by the Parks and Recs department, or could they just call and register over the phone, Marlene or Kurt? Could they do that as well? Okay. So do that. That's going to be a lot of fun, I think, and to have snow in Homestead, that's something. I've got a lot of stuff going on here. Just let me look and see what my next thing is. I want to thank the public. I want to thank everyone for coming to our Angel Tree reception for the Little Angel Foundation. For those of you that did go, it was absolutely wonderful. We gave out $14,000 that night to families that needed help. I know Rick was there and Kurt was there, Steve, Linda, Norman. So I appreciate it so much, and it just touches your heart to see these children. We give it to children with special needs, physically and mentally challenged children. And not only did we give out $14,000, we raised $14,000 in 2 hours that night. So thank you to the community, and our angels, thank you very, very much. I had an opportunity Saturday morning to do our annual trail riding in the villages of Homestead. The trail riders of South Florida, they come out and bring their horses, and they decorate not only themselves, but they decorate the horses. And it's just a beautiful experience. We do this in conjunction with Ed Bow with SOS, and the citizens of the villages of Homestead, they actually came out of their houses and gave us it was about 220 toys this year, and that all goes to the toy drive. The Little Angels donated $1,000 to SOS this year for toys as well, and I'm hoping, I don't know if there's any in the box back there. Now come on, people. Come on, bring a toy to City Hall. Sharon just told me we haven't had any toys. Not one toy has anybody brought. Please, an unwrapped new toy. If you see the faces of these children that these toys are handed out to, it just breaks your heart. So please do that. And if you can't bring it here, bring them to the police station. Call somebody. We'll come pick them up. We'll do whatever it takes to get them there. I want to also mention that their Seminole Theater is having a Dickens Christmas, and it's going to be this Wednesday night, December 8th, from 7 to 9 p.m. at Main Street Cafe. $25. You can dress up in Victorian attire if you choose, and if I don't sell these tickets, Linda Fagan is going to kill me. So it's a true Dickens Christmas. They have all kinds of entertainment. They're going to have tours of the Seminole Theater. $25, come out and have a good time. And let me see if I got everything. Last but not least, of course, I want to compliment Vice Mayor Bell. She is the Athena Award winner for the City of Homestead. We now share a sisterhood. I happen to have won that award in the year 2000, and it's a great honor and it's a privilege, and Linda, you should be very proud of yourself. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wallman. Councilwoman Garner?
Skipping Vice Mayor?
Vice Mayor.
I thought you were just saving the best for the last.
Vice Mayor.
How could you skip over me, Mayor? Today, I took a walking tour of Flagler Avenue, and it was a lunchtime lecture series, and it was very fascinating, and I would encourage anybody to participate in the lunchtime lecture series. You don't realize how rich in history this city is, and that was really great. And then raced from there to the street naming ceremony for Jerry Underwood, who was very active in the agriculture community, and that was also a very nice event. And I would echo Councilman Porter's comments about what it takes to get anything done with this county, which brings me to the EFBD. And tomorrow we are all, did you like the little caveat, little entree right into that? We're all headed there. As many people as possible, we're going to the County Commission chambers tomorrow morning for a 9:30 a.m. Commission committee meeting. And this is a do or die meeting. It either goes or it's gone. It's really a going, gone. So hopefully Commissioner Sejas will let it go out of committee and at least let it go for a vote before the full commission. And that's simply all we're asking at this point. And when our attorney Richard said that, this is county home rule charter, and it's the job of the county to put the signs in. It's also the job of the county and the school board to build schools. But when they don't do what they have to do, what they should do, we need to do it. And so we're trying to be very proactive again. And there was an article in the neighbor section on the EFBD, which with some positive and negative comments on the EFBD. And Councilman Losner wrote a very, very good article on the EFBD for this month's Hometown Tribune article. So please read it. I've also done a complete explanation to the newsletter a little while back, explaining it at length. And it's really quite simple. And if anybody has any further questions on it, and quite frankly, the arguments against it they really bear no weight. They hold no water. But there always has to be people that are opposed to something. And what's ironic, I always feel like if you're going to be opposed, then have a solution for us, have an answer for us. But there are no other solutions. And so just hopefully anybody who can come in the community, please participate. I know I'm hoping as many people on council can attend as possible. I also wanted to say that at the Little Angels reception, which was really, really nice, I got to see Brittany Dulovich, who was a little girl who had the brain aneurysm, and she is doing so well. And she was and I've known her and her family through homeschooling and the homeschooling network, and so she's doing really, really well. But it can reoccur again at any time, so please keep her in your prayers. One more thing, December 17th, 18th, and 19th, 7:30 p.m. at the Harrisfield Barn Pavilion. Our church and another church in the community is presenting Journey to the Manger, free of charge to the entire community. It's a dramatic musical drama on Christmas at Harrisfield, and we're looking forward to it. As a matter of fact, one of our city's finest police officers, Von Grant, he's our music leader, along with Alan Caves, who teaches at Coral Reef and is also very active in the community. So it looks to be a very good presentation. Come and bring your families. And also, I'm very, very grateful that we've gotten through PBA negotiations, and very happy that I think, from what I hear, it went very, very well, and I'm very happy about that. I also wanted to personally thank Chief Roll for attending to some of my needs and questions from different members in the community on the east side. Thank you for your answers for these people in the community. I really appreciate it. And that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And let me just reemphasize to the council how critical it is that we show up in numbers tomorrow morning at 9:30. And I know some of you may have conflicts, but getting the EFBD through that committee is critical. We will have to start all back over if we don't get it done. And that's very, very important. So if your schedule allows you, we would like to go there with a united front. So if all 7 of us can be there tomorrow, it will show certainly unity, but show that we are all behind this effort and encourage the committee to move it forward. So if you could be there in the morning, we'd really appreciate it. Councilwoman Garner.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to report that Keysgate Charter School now has school zone signs. It's only been, 8 months? Thank you to Public Works and Development Services for helping me out, and all the residents who made their complaints. Thank you for supporting me. The Mayor's Youth Council will be meeting next Monday, the 13th at 7 p.m. And as Mrs. Wallman talked about the Breakfast with Santa, they will be volunteering there. Look for them in their red polos. And those polos are courtesy of Mo from Lumo Print. And I'll continue thanking Mo publicly, and if anyone else wants to sponsor the team, go ahead and send us some money, and I'll say your name too. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Garner. And I have just a few items. One is the ratification of reappointment of Reverend Bill Chambers and Ms. Arturo De Leon to the Homestead Housing Authority's Board. Is there a motion for
I'll move
ratification?
that, Mayor.
Moved by Vice Mayor Bell, second by Councilman Porter. Any comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I would also ask Richard if we could take a look at the existing ordinance dealing with the board to see whether we could expand the board to 7 members, because I know Chairman Alger requested the appointment of 2 individuals that I think very highly of, and if there's a way we can add them to the board, I'd like to see that happen. I had an opportunity last week through Mr. Steve Sapp to meet with a Chinese delegation from Shuwang, China. They were here at City Hall on last week, I think it was Tuesday evening or Wednesday. And the gentleman's name is Mayor Lu Wang Yu, who was the mayor of the city of Shuwang, and they're here to work with our farmers. Apparently there's some technique that the Chinese uses in their vegetable crop that allow them to, say, grow tomatoes 12 months out of the year in China, where we can't do that here. And they're willing to extend or help us implement this technique. And this mayor represents about 1.5 million people live in the city, and they have the largest vegetable crops in the world. And I just want to mention to the council, of course, the mayor said that we all are welcome to his city on the 20th of April of next year. They have a world...
I make a motion, Mayor.
We have a world... they have a world vegetable fair there in Shuwang, and certainly have extended an invitation. I said, well, if you all pay for it, I'm sure some of the council members will go. But it was a fascinating meeting, and I'll just pass around something, and of course he left a very nice gift. I just wanted to share that with you, but it was a very interesting meeting. But they have this unique technique. And Steve Sapp was excited about it because he was saying that if we can implement this technique, that they could certainly compete with the Mexican imports of tomatoes and other vegetables in the United States, and probably increase their production 5-10 times. There's a professor at FIU that is the liaison, and what we're hoping to do, what the farmers are hoping to do, is to get a research grant from the state, and the People's Republic of China is willing to match that grant to bring some of their farmers here to teach our farmers how to do this. So it was a very interesting meeting for about 2 hours, but I was excited about it, and very eloquent, charismatic mayor from Shuwang. It was very nice. Let me also say, Mr. Porter, on the code enforcement initiative, the presentation you made a couple of weeks ago, I would ask that you take a look at it. The manager gave me a way of probably funding this thing if we net out with the contract negotiation. We should have some monies available to probably implement that. Would you take a look at that again and probably get with Elena and the manager if there's money left from the negotiation we made? That could be a way of funding the request from the chief and Captain Chung with the code enforcement. We need to move on it, and I would ask you all to do that.
we'll call that meeting right now. Mr. Manager, would you set that meeting up tomorrow? No, not tomorrow.
And the other thing, Chief and Mr. Manager, I know Chief Ivy years ago with Major Habermill, and there was some other in the department. We had and I'm just throwing this out, I'm not asking you to do it, but I'm asking you to get with Councilman Porter. I would like for you all to take a look at it a second time. And that is the re-implementation of the SWAT program that you had years ago. And I have a reason for saying it. And I'll share that with the manager and the chief at some point. But some response unit, some specialized unit in the department, even if it's not SWAT, and I say that because I know on many occasions we've asked for assistance from the county and they have not shown up. And we had an incident today, to be honest with you. So I just think that if I can recall with Major Habermill and Chief Ivy and others, that it was one of the top SWAT program in the state of Florida. And well respected to the point that we were training other agencies. And I would ask Mr. Porter if you would just take a look at it.
Definitely.
And if it's not cost prohibitive, see how we could probably phase it in at some point. And that's all I have this evening. Again, I too would like to join my thanks to Councilwoman Wallman for the tree lighting, the city tree lighting program, and certainly to Mr. Shiver and the Main Street Group for just doing a first-class job with the tree lighting downtown. It was a lot of people there, and we just need to do more of that in Homestead. It was a first-class program, Mr. Shiver. Thank you very much.
May I make one?
Mr. Porter.
I forgot, I apologize, Mayor, but I've noticed there's a lot of extra Metro-Dade bus traffic in the community. And it's got, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but it's got to be from the People's Transportation Plan and the additional half-penny sales tax dollar. But I'm not sure that many people in the community may know what's going on. The services that are being provided. I know in the villages of Homestead, I've never seen a public transportation bus come through there, but now on a regular basis they are. So if it's a service that's being provided and no one really knows about it, maybe we need to take, or I'm sure the county's done some sort of a position to try to advertise this, but I've never seen anything. So maybe could someone at staff take a look at and see if there's a mechanism or some information out there that we could find out. If they're going to run these buses through the neighborhoods, at least someone that might need them would at least like to know what they're doing. Because I haven't seen very much ridership on the buses, but I've seen a lot of additional buses that have never been there before. I may be the only one, I don't know, but up and down in the villages, I know they put up a lot of beautiful bus stops, and I have now seen buses moving through there. So if you don't like buses in the neighborhood, they're there. If you want to ride one, it'd be nice if you knew where it was going. So I'd just like to see if we could find out what mechanism is out there to tell people about it.
Thank you, Mr. Porter.
Thank you.
Public comments are welcome at this time. Any public comments? Yes, sir. Give us your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Reverend Wilfredo C. Rivera, and I'm a resident of 1511 Northeast 11th Street. I am one of these people that made a good choice, and that good choice was to move to a beautiful place like Homestead. After living for many years in cities like Camden, New Jersey, where I was involved with the community, Cleveland, Ohio, I was a chaplain with the police department, and the city of Chicago, where I lived for 20 years, and I was also involved with the community. And really, it is a great pleasure to be here. And I want to say good evening to all of you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and the community, because when I moved to this city, I heard so many bad comments about it. And really, to this day, I'm really proud that I made a choice to move here with my family. I got 3 grandchildren, and today, it was the only day, to be honest with you, that I feel really scared. Because a neighbor came to me from across the street and told me that not many years ago, somebody did get killed right on the yard where I purchased my house, 1511 Northeast 11th Street. And I was a little disturbed by the comment made by the neighbor that someone from, I guess, this department, I wrote a letter to Mr., or rather I spoke to the Office of Public Works Department, Kathy Sorensen, and they sent me this letter stating that they were going to consider issuing the 4-way stop on 1511th Street. First of all, I'm here. I do not have any community members here with me yet. But let me tell you something. I already, between Saturday and today, I have spoken to at least 15 of them. They are all pretty upset, as I am. Not with you. They're all happy because they understand that there is no, as I heard, authority in the city of Homestead. But let me tell you one thing. You might not have authority, but you have power. And that power is the people that elected you to those chambers, to these chambers. Those are the same people that do elect people like Mose and Kathy. And both of them will be hearing from me tomorrow. Because today, I think it hit the pinnacle. When I heard about that death, because the unfortunate comment that was made to my neighbor was, oh, don't you know that it takes at least 3 people to die before they consider a stop sign? I heard it from a second person, and I cannot swear that this is the truth. But from listening to other members in the community, they say, yeah, I heard that before. Like somebody just said, it took 6 people in one corner to die before they consider a stop sign. I don't believe, like I said, I have grandchildren. I'm sure that many of you are grandparents, like I am, and I don't think none of you, and none of you grandchildren would like to be the first death for them to consider a stop sign on 1511 Northeast 11th Street. So I'm here to really ask you with all my heart and ask of you a favor. You know, you are a council with a lot of power, as I said. You may not have authority. When Mr. Porter, and I'm so thankful to him because he did respond to me real quick when I called his office, and I was even surprised that he answered his own phone. Because I remember in Chicago and other places that I've been, it doesn't work that way. You have to go through a lot of people before you talk to important people like you. So, again, that really makes me real proud, as I am, to be a resident of Homestead. And I say this with all my heart. I could have chosen any other place, but we chose Homestead. We love it, we like it, and my wife and I and the family that live here with us, we want to make it our permanent home until the Lord decides otherwise. So again, I really want to encourage all, thank you. Thank you for, I see that Mr. Porter do have your support. But I hope that if any resolution gets out of this council chamber to the county commissioner, that he have the full support of all of you. Because like I said, and I want to close with that, you may not have the authority over them, but you have the power of the people. And I'm one of those. And the other 15 that I spoke to this week that are willing to write for a petition, call public meetings, and invite those officers. I do not think that would be necessary after I came here tonight. So I want to thank you all. Good night to all, and we look forward for, better things to happen on 11th Street. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from the public?
Yeah, my name is Mary Collins, and I live at 2269 Southeast 27th Drive, Centergate, right outside the charter school. And I stand tonight to thank Ms. Gardner and the city staff for getting those signs. Our bet was we'd have them by Thanksgiving. Well, that kind of went by the window, but we do have them by Christmas, and they are there. But one thing I would like very much for the city and the council, as well as the employees, we still have a problem on Palm. Whether the school wants to admit it or others, there is parents that are actually stopping in the middle of the road on Palm, picking up their children instead of doing it right in front of the school. So we need to look at maybe extending the 15-mile-an-hour speed sign or figuring out a way to put no stopping signs or something and enforcing them on Palm, because we're looking for a major accident. With the more construction that we have on Palm, these kids are, it's just an accident waiting to happen with the parents just nonchalant stopping wherever. But I do want to thank you. And yes, it's a lot quicker in the city of Homestead than it would have been in Dade County. And thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Good evening. I'm Ed Powell, and I'm Mary's neighbor. We share Palm Drive together. Two things. I haven't heard any mention about the terrific weekend we had called Race Weekend. To me, there were 100,000 people, and I live pretty close to that racetrack. And other than a couple of little hours, maybe Friday night trying to get home, the rest of the weekend with a little bit of planning, when you're going the opposite direction of the traffic flow, you can get in and out pretty easy. And I want to compliment the police, the people that actually set up the flow patterns. We got in, we got out 2 days without any trouble, with a little bit of planning. And Sunday night, returning on Palm Drive, as all the traffic was coming out, we came to Kingman, and they saw our little residence sign on the mirror, and immediately they stopped traffic, let us in, we were home. So that worked very well. I think for a little bit of inconvenience, people who live in Keysgate, if you plan your couple of days, it's worth it, and you can work around that traffic situation, and I think it worked pretty nicely. The last item, Mr. Losner had commented about the kind of the growth of the little for sale signs that had kind of sprouted up around Homestead, and particularly coming off onto Campbell, off the turnpike. You'd have these little signs that you know, two little wires, and they flap in a breeze, and they say, this unit for sale, and those seem to have disappeared. And whether you're actively, you know, going after those developments that are responsible, you know, Westbrook had all kinds of advertisements. I don't see those anymore. So hopefully the city is doing a diligent job of going after those and removing those signs. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
John Burgess, Southeast 30th Drive, 655. Just one other thing with the school zone over there that we have, and I've called the police officers' attention to it that are there working in the morning, and I understand that they're volunteering and they're not getting paid, so they're not really enforcing anything. But you have 2 lanes that come down on Kingman, and in front of the school, the parents have taken it upon themselves to turn from both lanes into the school, so if you're trying to get through there in the morning, you can't. I've called over and talked to a female lieutenant. I can't recall her name right now, twice. She's put me on to a traffic officer, and nothing's been done about it. So I just want to say that although a school zone has been put in, and that's great, there still needs to be a lot of work done over in that area. Thanks.
Can I just
Thank you.
respond here? Because I want to say that the issues that are brought up about someone parked, Chief, the issues that are, when someone parks in the middle of Palm Drive, that's an enforcement issue. And you know, obviously some of the other issues out in that area are enforcement issues. So obviously there's concerns out there. So from an enforcement side of the issue, we need to take a look at that. Because I agree, Palm Drive is not a place to stop in the middle of the road, and most of those areas where they're stopping, you're coming out of a turn. So can we'll bring that up in the next meeting. I know you and I talked about having a meeting in the next few days. So those are enforcement issues that we need to take a look at. No. And myself, but that's what I'm saying. You're the chief, and those are enforcement issues, and we'll definitely take a look at that. Oh, new guy.
Mr. Mayor, council members, just 2 people have mentioned the school and the parking and
Excuse
travel.
me, your name for the record, please.
Steve Shiver, 47 North Chrome. We are working with the school. I met with the principal in donating a right-of-way that will allow more stacking as you come into the property. Instead of having the exit off of only entrance on Kingman, you'll be able to go in and out from Palm as well. So you'll have a lot of stacking lane that you can go internal to the property. That should solve the problem, but we're still working on that. We'd like to be able to do that over Christmas holiday, over the Christmas break. We've been asked to do it quickly if we're going to do it, and we're going to actually pay for the road as well. So there should be some relief from that.
Good, thank you, Mr. Schreiber. Any other comments from the public? Any other comments from the public? If not, thank you all very much for coming. Meeting is adjourned.
Good job.
I'm open.